Welcome back. This is Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV Television.
Our first segment today marks 6 days into the voter registration cards distribution exercise. There has been some concerns from the public over the quality, especially with regards facial recognition of their photos, with some reporting that they have not been able to get their cards, and others say their cards have no photo. So this morning, to talk more on this and the position of the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone on these issues, we have Albert Masako, is the Director of External Relations at the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone. Good morning, Albert, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure having you. So I suppose you've been following the news lately, even social media, mainstream media, about concerns about the ID cards. But before we go into the concerns, let's establish so far, how has the process been with your own supervision, your own monitoring process across the country?
Yeah, thank you. The process has been going on fine by our estimation, because looking at day 4 of the 10-day process, we've collected over 1,500,000 cards. So that tells you, I mean, as we expected, the process is ongoing, and we are now on day 6 and hoping that by the 10th day, I would have collected as much as possible all the cards, but definitely it's not going to be possible.
The collection of this, the data you've got so far on the collection, it's across the country. Does it you know, also entails those who are going to centers that are saying they are not getting their ID cards? Some people are saying they go with their details, they go with their slips, they say their names and their ID cards are not there. Do you also capture that? And those who are complaining that their cards their photos are not on their cards?
Well, we have daily summary of the issuing of ID cards, and it is across the country, 3,630 centers nationwide. And we are taking records. When we talk about collection, it involves all of these other categories, whether it is no photo card or whether some of the cards as now it's the vogue around. But whatever happens, that is the total collection of the cards so far, inclusive of all of these other. If you have not collected your card, you are not in that count. But as long as you've collected it, you are part of that number.
But people who go to these centers to collect their cards and they are told, no, your card is not here, your card is not ready yet, even with their slips, are they captured? How are they captured in the process?
Well, what we should try to note is that we have 6 scenarios in this issuing of ID cards. Scenario 1 is the normal case. When you come, you present your slip, your card is issued to you. But apart from that, we have other scenarios. The one that you're talking about is the relocation scenario. If you come to the center where you registered, but unfortunately, your card is not in that center, but it is somewhere else. So we go through the process wherein, of course, you're not going to get a card, but you're going to have an attestation. That attestation is part of the process of collecting, because at the end of the day, you have an attestation which shows that we have taken responsibility, that we should have had your card at this center, but unfortunately, for some technical reason, your card is in another center somewhere. You have the card, but it is not in that particular center. So the fact that we are giving you attestation, the Commission is acknowledging the fact that it is our responsibility. That's why we are giving you the attestation. So it is part of the count, because that attestation, eventually, your card, the attestation, the essence of the attestation is for the Commission to acknowledge that indeed you are in this center, but because your card is somewhere else, we are going to bring that card back to this center. Then we give you the attestation, so you are part of the count.
So how will they be getting their cards? Or well, they will just use their attestation to go to the
attestation is valid. Yes, the attestation is valid, but the Commission will come out with a statement with regards. Your card is printed, but it is somewhere, but the Commission is taking responsibility. That is the reason why we are giving the attestation. So the attestation is also equally important, like for the no photo card. In the situation of the no photo, which is another scenario, we would give you the no photo ID plus the attestation. And the attestation goes a long way, even on election day. Let's assume we cannot find you don't come any longer. Let's even assume the Commission wants to give you your card after you've been relocated, you are not available. But on election day, the attestation card is going to serve as a legal document to go through the process. But again, what we should note is that in as much as we appreciate the concerns of the cards, but the most important thing is the voter register, the register of voters. Every other Sierra Leonean, as long as you are registered, your name and details are on the register. That is what is more important. The card is just a tool to make the process move faster. Let's assume in a scenario where somebody does not even come with his or her card. That does not mean the person is not going to vote. As long as your name and your details are on the register, that is what is key and important in this situation. Okay,
to make the process smooth, the ECSL trained a huge number of staff to help distribute these ID cards. And for now, apart from the no photo and the other skirmishes, we have seen a lot of good sides of those who were trained. So let's talk about that training.
Well, when we are in electoral operations, we cascade trainings. The Electoral Commission and management, we train at the higher cadre. Then from there, the training goes to regional level, district level, and locality level. So we train each and every staff, whether commissioner and staff and other staff, talking about, in this scenario, ad hoc staff. So everyone is subjected to the trainings. Now it is the aspect of implementing some of what has been trained. I mean, the type of training that they've gone through. That one, it is left with individual ability and how they cope with some of these trainings. But we want to believe a good number of them are doing the work. That is why we have 2 of them. We train them for them to know about the procedures that is involved. But of course, unfortunately, some may not go through or abide by some of these procedures. But generally, majority of them do. But for the training, of course, we do adequate training. Okay. But it is left with an individual how that person will manifest such training. The reason why I asked was that because one of my colleagues went to, where he registered and he was given a slip, as you've made mention, and it was written on the slip, go to another center, and a particular center was not indicated. So just for clarity, for those who will find themselves in similar situation, they go to these staff that have been trained, I suppose, and they just write there, go to another center. The centers are plenty. Well, we have various scenarios. I'm not sure about that particular scenario because there is nothing like go to another center. We have 2 types of scenarios in this circumstance that you're talking about. One is when you are relocated, meaning you are going to be removed from the center that you have not registered. You are being relocated to come to your center because if you are in your center, your card will be given if the card is there. But if you are in that center where you registered, but the card is not there, we will not tell you to go to the center where you did not register. So that is outside of that. But again, we have another scenario wherein somebody mistakenly comes to a center. That person did not register in that center. If you check the slip of the registrant, that person did not register. No need to write, just politely inform the person that probably you registered not at Akibobet primary school, maybe you registered at Rokel. Can you please go to Rokel? Because based upon your slip, you did not register here. I'm sure that is the scenario. But there is no need to write on that slip that go to that center. The registrants, the CI, the card issuer or the assistant, they can easily just tell the individual, maybe you forgot that this is the center where you are of the opinion that you registered, but this is not the center. So that is the likely scenario that may have happened. Before Lamana comes in, I know a lot of people want to know about, the picture quality of the cards and the like. My attention was drawn to the biometric aspect of these cards. And when I spoke to, I think it was the head of communications also at the ECSL, he made mention that, yes, there will be some certain features in these ID cards. And yesterday, again, people were discussing the features, the biometric aspects. When you scan it, there's not much of information. So what's the importance of that, biometric feature? Well, when, of course, the card has a lot of security features, which includes biometric, and some you cannot even see. But let me demystify this viewpoint that as soon as you scan, you can see the information. You don't have our database, so you cannot see the information. If it is the Electoral Commission that has its database, when we scan the card, it takes us directly to our database. But if you don't have our database, even if you scan, it will only indicate to you that this card can be scanned.
So that feature is for the ECSL?
It is for the ECSL. It is not for outsiders.
Okay.
But if you put your scanner, it will read it that indeed this ID card, this registration card can be scanned. But because you don't have our database, it will only give you a blank information. But if it's the ECSL, if we scan it, then it takes us directly to our database. So that is the misunderstanding that people get, that as soon as you scan it, you go straight to our database. Unless we give you, we cannot give anyone the right. The only right that we give citizens is for you as an individual, because you are using your voter ID number to scan, then it will take you to our database. But I cannot scan your information, then I see it in my database, which I don't even have. So it is a form of a security measure. It is only you as an individual.
And some people are saying it's taking them either to a website or an SMS platform system. What's the significance? Is there any use of it for us, the voters? Say I have this, it's the barcode is there, I can scan it. What is it?
In the first place, it is a security feature. Then secondly, it is for the Electoral Commission to undertake its activity. If there is a dispute, let's assume there is a dispute about a card, then the Electoral Commission can scan it and confirm that this card is valid. But it is not for an outsider. Now, coming to the issue of one thing about Google, you put any number, it will take you somewhere. And if you scan the barcode, it has numbers and features. It will take you anywhere. Because your scanner, the phone that individuals have, don't have the NEC database. Definitely, when you scan it, it will take you somewhere that you will imagine where you are. But the fact of the matter is, if it is the Electoral Commission that scans it, it takes that scan message directly to the database of the Electoral Commission.
So the barcode is more useful to ECSL than us, the holders of the card?
Well, it is useful to ECSL. It is also useful to an individual.
In what sense?
Individual.
How?
For
because
example,
if it's not taking me anywhere, how is it
No,
useful?
that's why we have the web-based situations where you have your number. You can key in your number. It will take you to our database. We don't want to have any Jack and Jill to take anyone's number and just imagine that you can go into the database. You only have one access. That is your own number. It is the Electoral Commission. If you come to the Electoral Commission, then the Electoral Commission will lead you. That is the reason why I said, if there is a dispute about a particular card, the Electoral Commission will address the dispute to state that, okay, we're going to scan this card. Let's assume we are in a polling station. Then there is a dispute about the card. The Electoral Commission will scan the card. Then it will take us to the database. They will confirm that for security reasons, you may not know, but this card is valid, but not for any other individual. Or else we'll be going against privacy laws for anyone to scan anyone's document and you have access to those information.
But I can be able to scan my own card and have access to my data.
No, you don't have access to data. You can only have access to the ECSL's data when you use your own voter number.
That is what I'm saying. So if I scan and put my voter number.
No, you are not going to use that. What you use it, we have our application. The 383, you can do that on AfriCell or through Google Play Store. We have our applications. You can go there and put your own voter number. Then it will take you, because you are taking responsibility. But you cannot just take your phone. Your phone is not connected to our database. So if you scan that barcode, it will take you somewhere else. It is when the Electoral Commission gives you the equipment, you scan, then it will take you to the ECSL database, but not your phone, because your phone is not connected to our database. We don't want 3 million phones to be connected to our database. The only connection that you have to our database is when you have your own voter ID number. That's your individual personal code. It's what you can use and key in, then it will take you directly to your own information and no other one's else information.
So what's the idea of having the barcode on the card?
It is a security feature. Like as I said, one, it cannot be duplicated, because even if you duplicate it, it is unique to only that card. If someone duplicates it, then there is a dispute. If the commission comes and scans it, it will tell you this is fake. So it is a security feature. That's the essence of it. It is a security feature, and there are so many other security features.
Okay, let's talk about the card a little bit. There's been this discussion about, laminating the card. People think the texture is too light, and in order for them to be able to keep it in a better way, in a safer way, before the elections, they need to laminate it. And there's been arguments about if you laminate it, you'll cover the barcode and all of that. What is the ECSL saying?
The card is already laminated. The card is self-laminated. So no need to go again and laminate it. And again, let me make this point clear about the issue of the type of materials that are used for the production of the card. We are in a world wherein we have different types of materials that are being used, especially when we are talking about plastic materials, environmental friendly type of materials. The card has the type of materials that we can consider to be environmentally friendly. Some people are saying it has to be hard, it has to be... Then it's like we are polluting the environment. For us, as far as the Commission is concerned, the texture of the card is very much effective. No need to put hardened materials on it. More or less, you are destroying our environment. For us, it already has the laminate. So no need to put further materials or information, or other materials that may be hazardous to our environment. As it is flexible, yes, but it has all the details that is necessary for it to be considered as a standard card. Can it be laminated or not? Or no need, because it is already laminated. No need, it is already laminated. There is no need for that. So how about those who've laminated theirs as well? Is it still valid? Can they still use it? No, your card is your card. Your card is your card. I'm only saying there is no need for you to laminate it because it is already laminated. Because the type of material that is being used, it is appropriate for the 21st century. Okay. There's been this, July was asking about the photo itself. Yesterday the Chief Electoral Commissioner actually mentioned that the Commission is as well concerned about the quality of the photos. Did the Commission receive these cards and raise these concerns before the distribution, or you're only raising these concerns because the public, the reaction from the public? So even before the reaction, of course, let me reiterate what the Chief Electoral Commissioner said. As a commission, we are concerned. Like every other Sierra Leonean, even myself personally, I'm concerned because you want to have the best. Be that as it may, the Commission, of course, has communicated with the service provider, the vendors. That's the reason why the Chief Electoral Commissioner made it very clear that in as much as we are concerned, but we have procurement processes, and we are going to go back to the vendor for them to explain to us. The people of Sierra Leone, some people, others have said there has been this concern, and the Commission acknowledges that. And moving forward, we may have to hear from the vendors, then the Commission will come out again and talk to Talking about vendor, is it I was checking up the contract or the company. So where were these cards printed? Well, the cards were printed in Greece, out of Sierra Leone, offshore. But of course, the vendor has a local partner. The vendor has a local partner. The issue is the most responsive bidder actually got the contract. We went through ECSL went through the process, through the international bidding process, though restrictive. Out of the 9 companies that were contacted, 2 responded, and of the 2, the most responsive actually won the bid. But of course, like the law states, even if you are an international company, you must have local partners. And there is a local partner which we are communicating with, and with all of these concerns that have been raised, I'm sure there are also Sierra Leoneans. They are seeing what is happening, they are realizing what is happening. I'm sure if they are Sierra Leoneans, they may also have taken their cards, so they know. So was it the responsibility of the Commission to do background check on this company, or it's or the local partner? Because I have actually checked the name of the company that is put in that press release from Inform Liquors or so, Inform P Liquors Holdings. It's a Romanian company based in Romania, and I could imagine they printed this in Greece. Did you do background check on this company before? The issue is the Commission looked at the most responsive. Of course, it is part of the process. let me make this point clear that there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Even if you may have done background check, the fact of the matter is this is where we are. It does not mean because you have not done background check or because you have done background check.
But that could help the. But
we are not saying.
No, but what I'm saying is, I could imagine giving a contact. I can recall in 2018, Laxton or so, we're giving a contract to print our ID card. And if you check them out, you see they've done similar work for other countries.
Equally
so that is what I'm asking. So.
No, the issue of, no, I want us to state it clearly that indeed background check was done.
Okay, and you were satisfied with the company?
They won the bid. Because when you put out a bid, companies would have to apply. There are various specifications you go through, background checks and all of such. That's the reason why I'm stating there is no art to find the mind's construction. Somebody can win a bid, but along the line, so those are the concerns that the commissioner has, and we're going to bring forward so that this company, especially the local partners, they will be responsible for the actions based upon their response.
I see, Zula, I want to ask a question, but quickly, you know, were samples done before the actual printing? Say, this is the quality.
Yes, indeed.
And they were colored as well.
Yes, and some of the cards, not all the cards are black and white.
80% of the cards,
we
over
agree.
80% of the cards.
Samples were sent, and the samples that were sent were colored. Just like some people who have collected their cards, they've collected colored cards. But of course, we are concerned about the black and white because our expectation, according to the bid documents, all of the cards should be colored and not some black and white, some colored. We are concerned. But the sample cards were actually colored.
Okay. Let me come in again. You know, these are all learning process. It gives you, you know, the platform to go back to the drawing board and see where, you know, errors went wrong. And I want to draw your attention to few, I think it's over a year now, the Gambia electoral body came to ECSL to, you know, do some fact finding and checks to ensure that both countries, sister countries, are working in the same direction. So in terms of a country coming to Sierra Leone, and now they, of course, pictures have gone all over the media, what would you have to say as Sierra Leone as an election body in making or putting steps ahead so that, you know, some unfortunate incidents like this do not reoccur?
You know, this we call it, within our electoral parlance, we call it electoral realities. You can do all of your plans, but at the end of the day, what comes out, these are the realities. There is no 100% electoral operation. It's never going to be 100% perfect. We may have some hitches and some concerns. Now, coming to lessons learned, we have learned our lessons. I've been in the commission for quite a period. This is my fourth cycle. 2007, we did learn lessons. 2012, we learned lessons. 2018, we learned lessons. Even 2023, we'll continue to learn our lessons. But that does not mean we are still, this process is still not conclusive because we are yet, the company is yet to get to us. So I'd rather we wait after we would have looked at all of these. But of course, we've learned our lessons. And from the lessons that we've learned, we are going to engage, which the commission has already started with the company. But moving forward, we'll now take all of these things on board. That does not mean in 2007, lessons that were learned, I mean, we did not have issues again in 2012, same again as in 2018. So as we move, every electoral cycle, we have different scenarios, different challenges. But of course, the fact that people from Gambia, our counterpart, they came to Sierra Leone, they are aware of the fact that we have done so much in terms of elections administration. They admire us. I mean, they will learn from us. That does not mean we may not have our own challenges. I mean, there's no perfect democracy in all over the world. Even where you go to learn from the experiences of people, they will always tell you about their challenges also. I'm sure this may be one of the challenges. There's
an organization, they're called One Family People. Well, they're victims of, you know, different issues. They reached out to us and they were concerned that the ECSL, you know, did not give them preference. Some of them are blind, some of them are crippled, unfortunately. And what, you know, plans have you made for them, regardless of all of this that are happening? You know, together with other partners, I'm sure you have to work with other people for that.
We appreciate the concerns of that group. But of course, I want to believe the ECSL should be the best place to go and make such concerns. But let me go back to what the ECSL has done over the years. Since the enactment of the Disability Act, the ECSL is one of the few institutions that has institutionalized inclusion, meaning bringing together minorities and all other groups. For the fact that from a table, a unit, we now have a department of electoral inclusion. That tells you the length that the Commission has gone in addressing disability issues. We have a lot of engagements with disability issues. Besides, the law makes provision for that. But again, coming to the issue of we are not giving them, well, I don't know what they mean by that. We have the responsibility to conduct elections. We cannot give you what we don't have, or we cannot give you what you think we should give you, because our role is to conduct elections. And what we do in the conduct of election is to provide the environment. Even if you are a person living with disability, you are also a Sierra Leonean like any other Sierra Leonean. But if we engage, we are able to understand what you want, but we cannot give you what we don't have to give you. What we have is for us to just conduct elections. But that besides, when we talk about disability, we have mapped out our centers, those that are disability unfriendly. Then the Commission is looking at what is to be done. For example, providing plants, ramps. That is what we can do. We cannot go beyond that. Meaning, if you are a person living with disability, we can create a special. Mind you, we are conducting elections. Every Sierra Leonean is equal. If you create special preference for a particular class of persons, then you are biased because you are conducting elections equal. Everyone is equal before the law as far as elections are concerned. However, what the Commission is doing is to ensure that just as the able persons have access to our polling centers, our processes, they also would have access. But again, that brings to mind the level of infrastructure that we have as a country. It is the wish of the Commission to have interpreters, sign language interpreters. How many sign language interpreters do we have as a nation? So it should be a national conversation and not just ECSL. Some of these centers that we go within the year, we only go there 4 times to register, to collect our cards, to vote. But these centers live forever. People never talk about these centers that they are disability unfriendly. But when it comes to election, they want the Electoral Commission to solve the problems. After election, the problem is still there. So what we do is when we engage with schools, with court barriers, we inform these persons that ensure that disability issues become a daily matter for discussion. It is not only when election comes. Election comes and it goes, then people will say, okay, let's forget about elections, then everybody's okay. But when election comes, then disability organizations will start to put the blame on the Electoral Commission. We can do what we are able to do, that is providing planks. But we cannot build an office. We don't own offices. We use public spaces. So these public spaces should be made available or accessible to persons with disabilities, and not the Electoral Commission doing the work of institutions that own these public spaces. So it's really unfortunate that the blame is put on us, but we explain to them so that they can understand that we do what we are able to do. We have assistive devices. The laws and even the procedures that we put together would help. For instance, you cannot stand in a queue if you are a person living with disability. When you come, we'll give you easy access for you to collect your card or to vote. That's what we can do. But we cannot say because you are living with disability, we can give you money to contest. Because everyone is going to contest. It is the winner. So we cannot give preferential treatment outside of the basics that we do because we are conducting elections.
Okay, let's take some messages. We've got some on our Facebook page. Let's see. There's a question here I want to read. It's from Fode Bundu. It says, if the card is laminated, would it be still capable to be scanned with the lamination on it? If the answer is no, have you tried to scan the laminated card to see if the scanned barcode works? That's a question from Fode Bundu.
Okay, I'm having some internet connection.
Okay, Alaji Amakibe says, I really don't understand all the controversy surrounding the voter's card. It's just meant for voting purposes. I think people want to use it in place of national identity card, and that is why the whole outcry. George Oil says it's unfortunate for Mr. Masakwe to sit in the studio and talk about the laminated card. Poor work done on this voters' ID card. You guys just scam the citizens. I'll read few more. Swissman says, all this explanation is not important to the uneducated Sierra Leoneans who went to register and wanted to express their rights as citizens. What to expect from the electoral bodies to sign a proper contract with the company to manufacture a biometric plastic voters card for the people, a card that will resist water when there is rainfall. Okay,
Lamana, let me come in. I have a better connection now. Yusuf Maulana says, even WAEC barcode gives you your personal details, while the voter's ID card cannot. Sylvia Press says, initially we were told that the voter's ID will be multi-purpose, but the message we are getting from the ECSL boss is that as soon as we are done with the voting process, the card becomes absolute. If ECSL keeps on giving us different stories about the election process, how can we believe what they're telling us?
Edwina John says, QR code should be accessible to everyone. It's not a security feature, but a source of information hidden in the form of pixels.
Yes.
Abubakar Rashid says, the contractor has completed his job and they have delivered. Why is the ECSL boss saying that he'll get back to the contractor? It is like the stable is open and the horse has bolted away. Abubakar Rashid is asking, I would like to have a clarification on the company that won the contract, the country origin of the business. The final one I'll take is again from Esmondo Williams. He said, a QR code, short for quick response code, is an array of black and white square of pixels set in a grid that stores data for a machine to read. A smartphone or camera can quickly process the information contained in the QR code, specific arrangement of pixels, making it a convenient way to store and access data. The final one is from Aliu Ba. It says, AYV, please ask Mr. Massaquoi that why the Commission has not submitted the voter register to the political parties, as was claimed by some political parties. Those are the comments or questions you could take. Albert, you want to react?
Yes, let me start with some clarifications with regards multi-purpose ID card. You know, a lot of people are mixing it up between the ECSL and the NCRA. We don't even have ID cards. We have voter registration cards. It is for the purposes of the conduct of elections and any other activity regarding that. Multi-purpose ID card, which is the national ID card, is for NCRA. What the CC, the Chief Electoral Commissioner, said yesterday was, our card is just for the purpose of the conduct of elections. That brings me to the issue of the appreciation from the public. People want the voter ID card because it has been used before to conduct so many other businesses, for banking activities, for other monetary transactions, which we appreciate. But sincerely, it is not for that purpose. It is really not for that. Now, coming to the issue of the QR code and all of such. The database, the ECSL database, is not out in the open. So even if you use your phone to scan it, you will not have access to it until the ECSL says our database is now in the public. Then when you scan, it will take you there. But because it is not, then no need for you to do it. Now, coming to the issue of the voter register still not yet been given to the political parties. We've held a series of engagement with the political parties. Time immemorial, the Commission has always given the register. I want to believe this is the last activity after this one, because we are talking about relocation cases. That is, persons who went to collect their cards, but their cards were not found. Probably their cards were in other centers. Until we can fix the relocation, then we are not done with the register yet. Mind you, we have the final register, meaning no one is going to be added. No one is going to be reduced or removed from the register. But we can do placement. For example, like relocation. If somebody is in a particular center, then that person has to be relocated. It is like +1 - 1. you are going to be removed from this center, which is -1, and relocated to another center, which is +1. We cannot take, until we finish this exercise, then of course we've told the political parties that we're going to give them the soft copy of the register. Let them, don't be worried. In 2007, we did it. In 2012, we did it. In 2018, we did it. Even in 2023, we're going to do the same. That is giving political parties, because that is the weapon that they're going to use so that they can follow. Let them be rest assured the Electoral Commission will give them. But until we finalize this card distribution, we are in relocation cases put into their proper perspective, meaning the centers that they are supposed to be. We are not going to add any new registrants anyway. Then we would give the political parties.
Are we going to have the same company that printed these ID cards to print the voting slips, the voting papers? I could imagine if...
Oh, you mean the ballots?
The ballot papers. I could imagine if photos are not visible now, how
the commission has started procurement. It is tender, open tender. It is open to bidders to bid. I cannot say, probably that particular company is not even a company that prints ballots. I cannot say. But what is important is, for every activity, when we want to hire vehicles, we advertise. When we want to print registration cards, we advertise. When we want to print ballots, we advertise. So it is left with the company.
So I could imagine, again, if we're going to print ballots and we have dark photos of people who will be on the ballot for the presidency, then we come against...
I will assure you, we will not get to that, because from the previous elections, we've had very clean, very good ballots.
We've had same with ID cards. We've had same with ID cards.
I don't want us to shift the discourse.
No, I'm just saying, because...
Let us not shift the discourse, because it has happened to voter cards. There is a possibility that it will happen to ballot papers.
It didn't happen in 2018. We had very clear voter cards. I still have mine.
But again, in 2018, a lot of people criticized again the card. The cards are laminated.
Exactly.
People would always criticize, which we appreciate.
So I'm just asking, what is the commission doing to address situations like this? She asked same earlier, what are we doing? These are very critical issues, and we are less than 3 months to elections.
We have what we refer to as artwork. When we develop ballot papers, we have artwork. It is from the artwork we develop the New York candidates. Even before the polls, you see the New York candidates sample ballots. We have sample ballots. So even from the sample ballots, it will tell you that we will not degenerate into such situations. Be rest assured, I'm not sure we're going to go into that. I don't know the company. Of course, the Electoral Commission will advertise, bidders will bid. Then the most responsive will definitely be the one that will do the printout. But for the ballots, because we are going to have sample ballots,
the assurances will not
Of course, the sample ballot is exact as what you're going to see. And we've had sample ballots for all the elections in 2018, even 2012, we've had sample ballots. Even during campaigns, that's what political parties, candidates use, the sample ballot to do their campaigns. And the sample ballot simply tells you, this is the sample of what you're going to meet.
The collection of voter identification cards will end on the 17th, right?
Yes.
So far with the process, is the commission satisfied with how people are turning out to pick up their
based
cards?
on statistical data, yes, we are satisfied, because just 4 days we've collected 1.5 million Sierra Leoneans have collected their cards. We want to believe today, which is day 6, it has gone up. But close to, I'm sure, the last 2 days, the commission will review. Then based upon that, the commission will take a decision, which it is not likely that it will extend. That besides, even after the closure of the centers, the card distribution will move now to district level, because the commission is mindful of people who are in the diaspora.
Exactly. I have people who are